You ready from the top?
We're going to take it from the top and break it down.
From the top. Welcome to 6 Minute Increments. We are here today with Jason Tracy and Karyn Rando from Consumer Credit Counseling Services of Rochester. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
It's great to be here.
Jason, what is your role with CCCSR? I think I got enough C's there, right?
Yeah,
Consumer Credit Counseling. Yes,
I'll add another
three
one.
C's.
I'm the CEO at CCCS of Rochester.
And Karyn, what's your role?
I'm the director of counseling operations, so I oversee our counseling department as well as our call center operations.
So what is a consumer credit counseling service?
Yeah. So we focus on families in the community to help them really get in a better financial state. And that could be a variety of topics. It could be first-time home buyer. It could be looking towards rebuilding your credit report and getting in a better space so you can buy maybe your first home or your car or better insurance rates. We also look at credit cards, and mainly credit cards, and people are struggling with the affordability of the interest rates and the monthly payments. And how do I get out of that? And how do I pay those balances down? Because my wheels are spinning and I don't know what to do. And we have a whole host of other services that we like to share with our clients once they get in and talk to one of our certified credit counselors.
So how does somebody find you guys? I mean, I think that as we head into the holiday season, there's going to be a lot of humans who go, oh my God, I've got huge credit card debt. What do I do about this? How do they find you? What do they do to work with you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they can search on our website. We have a self-booking option where if somebody's really unsure, or maybe they're just scared, that's often the emotion that people have. I'm scared. I don't want them to yell at us or me, and I don't know what my next step is. So they can certainly schedule and start that process online. They can enter in and have their credit profile pulled, all from the comfort of their home. They can certainly reach out to us and schedule an appointment with one of our counselors if they want to come into our office or do it over the phone or even through video. We're here in whatever means somebody is willing to meet with us.
Now, Jason, you're a pretty good fisherman. We've met before.
Yes.
Did well this year at the SOTUS Pro-Am.
Yes. It was all you, Brett.
I thank you. It's the first day I was half asleep. What's your background? How in the world did you get into this world? I think people would be interested in finding a little bit.
Because you've been in this role like
For a
what,
while.
20 years?
Officially since 2012 as the CEO.
Okay.
I started after leaving Chase. I was the director of operations, and then there was a leadership change, and the board, basically interviewed me for a year and then made it official in May of 2012. So my background early in my career was, hard money lending, like the Transamerica Finance, household finance. So I kind of cut my teeth there, learning, about credit and lending. Collections was a big component of that. And then I made the move to Chase. And then there, I just kind of, worked various different management roles, better understanding of the business. I ran an operation that I had a front row seat to the mortgage crisis, which was interesting, the whole robo-signing thing. I kind of landed at CCCS just through a contact at Chase that had a banking relationship with credit counseling. And the thing that I really enjoy about it is the impact you can see that the services have on people. We do make a difference, and that's something when you're running a large banking operation. It's just transactional, right? This you get a really neat human element to it, and feel good about what we're doing.
Now, you mentioned you have a board because you guys are
Yes.
a nonprofit.
Yes.
How do you find that working with a board is different than in the for-profit space? I mean, what's the unique challenges of keeping the board aware?
The big challenge for us is the fact that the board's it's totally voluntary, right? So
Right.
Right.
their incentive to be there is they're tied to our mission and the work we do in the community. The for-profit side, there's more prestige and money and
Right.
all those things that flow there. The challenge, I think, for us specifically in New York State is to recruit a new board member, they have to go through a very, very rigorous process to be approved by the Department of Financial Services here. And not a lot of people are aware of that. And
I was not aware of that. That's
oh,
interesting.
it's intrusive. So to become one of our board members, I mean, there's a whole host of it's just this giant packet basically they need to complete, but it's personal financial statements, really probing questions about any lawsuits that they've been involved with. And they do a
They don't like it when they get involved with lawyers?
Oh, a couple of the attorneys that we've had on the board, their packets were like this. So the big challenge for us is when we do need to find a new board member is to recruit them. I'm super lucky. The board that we have is been in place for a long time. It's not your typical not-for-profit board. We don't fundraise. We don't.
Where does your funding come from?
So primarily, it's our debt management plan product. So that's where I don't want to use the word consolidate because it's not a loan, but we'll take one payment from a client, work with the creditors to renegotiate, interest rates and terms, sweep that money out of their account, and then work to pay their debts off. So we charge a monthly fee for that. That's also regulated by the state. And then there's a component to that payment that's called fair share. And that's kind of an interesting piece. So fair share is the percentage of the payment we remit to the banks that we're allowed to keep. So, we'll pick on Chase, right? So this isn't our fair share rate from Chase, but just as an example, let's say it's 10%, right? So every dollar we remit to Chase, we get to keep 10% of that. But the client isn't penalized. They get credit dollar for dollar. We keep 10% of the remittance. And then on the other side, because we are a not-for-profit organization, Chase can write off those fair share payments as a charitable contribution. We have grants, through HUD, State of New York. We have community-based programs that are county funded. We've had some ARPA money for some transportation programs come in, but our primary funding source is debt management plans.
Karyn, how long do people typically work with you guys? I mean, somebody's going to buy a house. Do they work with you afterwards, before? What's the time frames?
For the first-time home buyer, ideally, it's before they buy a house, so they can go through and really get in a good spot, not only with their credit score, but their budget, making sure that the house that they're looking to buy is affordable so that we don't see them on the other side of our services, which is foreclosure prevention. So it could be years that they're going through that program, that first-time home buyer program. It's really based on the individual client and their need. They can meet with their counselor once a week or once a month or every 6 months. It's really based on the client's need and what they are looking for. Whereas our debt management plan clients, they typically come in and they meet with our certified credit counselors once, maybe twice in certain situations. But that once they enroll in the program, that account or that client then is moved over to our client support team. So they have longer relationships throughout the program. Typically for our debt management clients, it could be 3 to 5 years on average is when they're staying on the program and repaying their debts.
How does somebody become a certified credit counselor? I mean, that's not something that I remember seeing at my high school job fair.
That is true. So we work with an organization called the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, where all of our counselors go through many tests and certifications to receive that certification of a counselor. So there's different modules and tests and on all sorts of topics, from budgeting to different bankruptcy laws to Fair Credit Reporting Act, so that they can get this designation. And then once they receive it, they have to maintain it through professional development units, education, trainings, so they, again, can maintain that certification. So we're always learning about the different things going on in the environment, whether it's student loans or laws pertaining to credit reports. So the counselors have to stay up to date on those changes so they can educate their clients.
How often do people meet, or do you guys put out a lot of information? I mean, if I had a consumer credit counseling services counselor, it's a lot of words. How often would I meet with them? Like, was that a weekly thing?
Generally, it's a one and done.
Okay.
Typically it's they meet with them once, and it's about 45 minutes to an hour. And it's sometimes the client may decide to continue on their own. Maybe that's all they need is a little bit of nudging or education on the things that they're doing right, and they can continue doing what they have been doing, a little bit of tweaks. Or maybe a debt management plan where the interest rates and the lower payments is more of a benefit for them. So they have those two pathways that they get to choose from. But typically it's a one session.
If they get into a debt management plan, is the success rate pretty good in terms of like completing their obligations under that plan?
Yeah. So our clients, once they enroll in the program, successfully completing is about 54%.
Okay.
For our clients, completing 100% of their program. But we do have clients who they get to a point, we also consider it a success, where a client gets to the point where they can resume making monthly payments. It got to that point where that was enough of a reduction in the monthly payment. They've been able to save up. They can resume paying directly to the creditors. So we see that as a success as well.
In the folks that are on the debt management plan, there is a lot of support while they're on the plan. So all of our call center representatives are certified counselors as well. So we do a lot of, now we have a lot of automation through our systems where we can send, even if it's like, great job, you made 3 payments on time or 6, or, reach out if you need help. So on the debt management plan, those clients have access to, they could call us every day if they wanted to. And then we're constantly, sending them helpful hints and encouragement and things like that. So
I think of the accountants and bookkeepers that I know that hate working with business owners as they bring the shoebox full of every receipt for the year. What does somebody bring with them as they go to meet with a counseling service?
Well, we ask that they have an idea of what their monthly budget is. But if they don't know it, if they're really unsure from their mortgage or cell phone bill or groceries, the counselors are great. They have a very detailed list that they go through. So there's oftentimes where items clients are just unsure of. So we help them kind of work through getting those numbers. Their household income. So if they have their pay subs, that's great. Otherwise, if they know how much is deposited into their bank accounts or how much they get paid, then that's all we really need. And then the biggest piece is the clients allowing us to pull their credit report so that we have access to their credit history, their status of their accounts, the balances, the full account numbers. And really that gives the counselor a great idea of where that client is standing currently with their finances. So they can look at the different options and see what really is suited for that client's next steps.
Now, we always talk a lot about the impact of technology on growth and change and things. In your industry, how are you seeing things like AI change the interaction with customers or your growth?
Or has it reduced your staff? Like you mentioned automation, but...
So this is a particular area of interest of mine.
Same.
So...
That's right. We surely are on that team over here.
For an organization our size, a lot of it's myself and the leadership team. We spend a lot of budget resource on technology. So
mostly security,
which is large. The cyber regulations in this state demand that. So. We kind of carve that out because that's a requirement now. We upgraded our system. Well, let me back up. One of the challenges with our industry is there's very, very limited options for a CRM.
Why is that?
Just the size of the industry, how specialized it is. So you kind of really only have a couple choices to pull a CRM off the shelf, or you have to go build it yourself, which a close colleague of mine did that and is still doing that and spending tens of millions of dollars doing it. Wow. So that is something that we don't want to do. So the new system we're on is allowing us to do a lot of the automated things, follow-up and education that we're taking, Karyn's team's time to push a button, e-signature of documents. So we do a lot of telephone counseling, right? So the counselors now, they could talk to somebody, give or take an hour, send them the package, review it with them online, and it's signed and done.
Do you see a world where that is done by an AI?
We're building that.
Yeah.
So we have this, we call it virtual counselor. So we're just kind of in the initial phases of that, right? But we're getting closer and closer to the point where you could have an AI chatbot literally walk through the technical counseling piece, right? Mm-hmm. Like all the budget questions. And the thing with the online tools now is it's very data entry, like, here's 8,000 budget categories, fill them out. Where once you have the AI tool layered on top of that application, it could look at your credit report. You could pull in other banking information, like if through a plat or something like that. And AI could then lead that conversation online. There are some states that will allow you to completely go through a debt management session and sign documents without talking to somebody. New York is not one of them. So there.
Any hope of that in the future? Or is that
With
even
New
a
York?
point of discussion?
Not so much. Well, I think that that's okay if that's what somebody wants. But I don't know, maybe I'm just the old guy in the room, but I do think there's a lot to be said about if somebody's dealing with your money, that you want to do everything online, but it would be nice to know there's somebody where if you wanted to go grab them by the collar, you could go talk to somebody in an office. So that's kind of like where we're figuring things out with AI, I think. The operations side of things, though, that's where I think we'll get to a point rather quickly where we run pretty lean, especially on the finance side. So there are some AI projects we have underway where it won't be a reduction in headcount, but it'll free up a lot of the time that we have for those, especially in accounting, right? So we have.
I was going to say, how many employees do you have?
Across both organizations, we're close to 50 now.
Okay.
40, 48. On the accounting side, for example, so our main New York trust account, there's tens of thousands of transactions a month that go through that account. We need to reconcile to the bank statement to the penny. That takes an accounting person 7 hours a month for that one account. We have 20 of those accounts. Oh. Most of them aren't that complex, but so the project we're working on now is, okay, we should be able to take our CRM output, our bank statement, mash it into an AI tool, and AI should be able to reconcile that account within a minute.
Isn't that
It's crazy, yeah. So it's kind of
Ebenezer Scrooge would be thrilled. I saw Christmas
I'm
Carol.
thrilled,
Great.
On the telephony side, we're going to go through a phone system migration. That technology that was unaffordable even 5 years ago, like all the QA for the counselors used to be done the old-fashioned way, like listening to the phone recording, filling out a form. The new phone systems, you set the template up and the AI listens to it. Not only does it listen for kind of the black and white, but it also gives, empathy scores. Did they do a good job building rapport? So all of that stuff is kind of what we're working on and really excited about. I keep going. I love the technology piece. Love it.
We're lawyers.
Yeah.
We cause some people to go into debt. Let's be honest about it. To what extent do you end up having to deal with lawyers as part of counseling services or debt service management? Like people got either into medical debt and they're being chased down by a healthcare institution. We do that. Or you got sued you lost. Now they've gone into debt.
Yeah. So anything that has to do with an attorney, we
Avoid like the
we
plague.
avoid. Yeah. So if it gets to a point so far down the line in the collection process, if they're being garnished or they have they just received a judgment and they're going to be garnished, unfortunately, we can't help with those. So we'll refer them back to maybe an attorney, maybe based on their other financial situation or their picture, maybe they could be a good fit for bankruptcy. So it really depends on the individual.
To what degree is bankruptcy the answer for the people you serve?
Sometimes it is, and
Yeah.
we will make that referral or suggestion, and it's up to the client to make that decision if that's something that they want to pursue, and we would refer them to a bankruptcy attorney to look into that further. But sometimes it is just unaffordable. Even the debt management plan, even though we do get a reduction in the payment for them, it's still not something that they can afford. And I think clients, when they come to us, it's a relief because they think that bankruptcy is the only option, and when it validates their thinking, they're okay with that. They're at that point in time because it's been going on for a while at that time.
There's a lot of shame with that too. I think that we're trying to, get rid of that, perception that, a lot of the people we see, it's not just that they're overspending or, they're on Amazon too much. It's they have a horrible life event, right? Medical debt or job loss or who knows, right? So a lot of people come to us because bankruptcy is even more shameful. So a lot of the people that don't successfully complete, that's ultimately where they land is in some sort of, bankruptcy or settlement situation, which settlement opens up a whole other door about what's happening in the industry and where we're headed, especially with attorneys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of lawyers,
Yeah.
what has been, I know that you guys use lawyers. What's been your experience over all of the years of your career having engaged with legal counsel? Like, what makes legal counsel useful? What makes us not useful?
And this is a safe space.
It's okay to be honest about
We
it.
have thick skin.
I know Beth's legs aren't that long to kick me under the table from there. It's been very positive or very negative. My experience, the thing that I don't like is a lot of times, we were kind of talking about this before we started, lawyers at times are just obstructionists.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate answer is nope. It's too risky, or it's like my experience with some is they don't have the business side and they're very risk adverse. I certainly don't want to be sued, but at some level, if I'm not getting sued, I'm probably not doing my job. Right? I'm not pushing where I should push. And I'm not saying do anything unethical or illegal. So that's the negative side of things. The positive side is they've also kept me out of a lot of trouble. Right? I mean, Brett was involved with some of my DFS stuff. Beth, you are fantastic on the HR side. So that I look at that relationship as like a valued, trusted partner. But sometimes you just gotta find different
bills? How do you like getting billed by
This show
lawyers?
is called 6 Minute Increments
Because we bill
Oh
in
yeah,
6
am I
minutes
being
of our
charged for
life.
this? Shh, be quiet.
We're always be billed.
He's got the timer running. So.
No, I think that goes back to the value that and the relationship that you have with your legal counsel, right? Like I know, we deal with Beth, unfortunately, more than we like from the HR side at times. But to me, that's money well spent because we have a certain situation right now that, it's messy. I'm not an HR expert. We have somebody that's, SHRM certified and all that. But even that gets to a point where it's like, okay, this is in an area that neither one of us are comfortable with. So I look at it as money well spent and kind of an insurance policy against things. I also think it's important to have those relationships when and if something does happen, as long as there's that balance between having counsel that is in tune with your business and understands and kind of matches your risk profile. I think that's important. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to eat up too much of your day, but I do want to ask, as we go into the holiday season, do you have any tips that you advise people on as they go to spend a ton of money?
Well, our go-to is always make a list, stick to the list.
Like Santa.
It's
Check it twice.
check it twice. It's really easy to just get consumed with the holidays and wanting to buy more. And I'm going through this with my 10-year-old right now. Well, I want to buy a present for this person. No, we're not doing that. So sticking to your list. But unfortunately, saving for Christmas starts January 1st or earlier in the year, even if you can't do January 1. But the sooner the better, setting up a savings account, designating it for the holidays and even birthdays so that you have that direct deposit into that separate account. You don't have to worry about it. And then come the time when you have birthdays or Christmas or any other holidays, you can withdraw from that account for the presents that you, and including, meals too, because some people host Christmas and that's not cheap these days.
Cheap.
Yeah.
But also there's so many tools online, whether it's marketplace or second hand places that you can purchase. People really are trying to get rid of things now so that they can make room for the new toys for their kids. So that's always a great option too. You don't have to buy things at full price if you don't have to. Always look to buy second hand if you can. I do that myself. I do not want to pay full price for anything if I don't have to.
Yeah.
Create and stick to your budget would be my advice. Yeah.
That's easier said than done for some. Well, we appreciate your time today. This has been great. We thank you for participating in 6 Minute Increments. As always,
Like, subscribe, share with your friends and with your enemies.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.